It is just after 5:30 and the jury is still deliberating on whether or not Alex-Murdaugh is guilty of killing his wife and his son.
They've had the case now going on close to 2 hours. We do have team coverage of what's going on with this trial. We're going to send things over to Andrea Mock. She is outside the courthouse in Walterboro with details on what happened in court today. Andrea?
That's right, guys. The jury is behind me right now, like you said, deciding. We just got an email from the court. We heard that Judge Clifton Newman is allowing them to stay or keeping them, either way you want to look at that, until 10 o'clock tonight. We were also told, interestingly enough, that they will not be ordering the jury dinner and that they will have snacks instead. So that's a little update for you. But now let's take you into the courtroom today. Let's start with Jim Griffin. This was his chance today to look at the jury, and I want to let you know I was inside the courtroom. He picked up the podium, moved it over to the jury, and stood right in front of them talking. His major points today, he held up that press release. They had it enlarged, and he held up the press release that the Colleton County Sheriff put out on June 8th, one day after the murders, and that said that the community was not in danger. He said they zeroed in on Alex-Murdaugh right away, saying that his client didn't have a fair chance. And then he went into talking about the job that SLED did. He said SLED botched the investigation. He said SLED manufactured evidence. He lobbied quite a few accusations at SLED. He said they never tested those tire tracks. They never tested the bloody shoe print. They didn't test the hair that was found in Maggie's hand. But what did he have to say about the key point, the lie that now this whole case is surrounding itself, that Alec lied for more than a year and a half to SLED about where he was right before the murders? Listen to this.
And why did he lie? And that is certainly a fair question. And that's, and frankly, I probably wouldn't be sitting over there right now if he had not lied. But he did lie, and he told you he lied. And he told you why he lied. He said he lied because, I'll tell you, he lied because that's what addicts do. Addicts lie.
All right, he said that's what addicts do. Addicts lie, and he went on to explain, and you heard the testimony where Alex-Murdaugh himself explained that he lied because he mistrusted SLED. But don't forget, in that 911 call, before SLED was even around, he already told the lie. And Creighton Waters yesterday played that when he was talking to the jury, played that 911 tape again and showed the jury that right away Alec came up with that lie and said, nope, I took a half-hour nap, and then for an hour and a half I went and visited my mother. All right, so John Meadors got a chance for the rebuttal today. He gave a very powerful rebuttal. One of the things, Darcy Jr., that he said that stuck with me. Let's talk about those 300 blackout bullets. They had a ballistic expert who testified that those 300 blackout shells around Maggie matched blackout shells that had been fired at the Moselle property earlier. They were rusting, they were getting old. So he said that conclusion means Maggie and Paul were killed with family weapons. He said the motive is simple. His world was collapsing. Here's what he had to say.
Whatever was going on in his mind, his world's collapsing. It's coming down. All these worlds coming down financially. He's confronted that day by somebody's law firm. Where's this check? He's got another hearing coming up. It's a motive. Don't have to have it. But yeah, it's there.
Yeah, talking about his financial state back on June 7th, we now know, we saw testimony that he was negative more than $300,000 in the bank on June 7th. But revisiting those bullets really quickly, John Meadors told the jury today, and this was a very dramatic moment, he said, don't you think if the defense could find a ballistics expert to say that that wasn't true, that those 300 blackout shells didn't match each other, they would have brought them here and put them on the stand. That was a very powerful moment, and he wrapped up telling the jury, you know what, I do think Alec loved Maggie and he loved Paul, but he loved Alec more, saying that he would do anything to save his reputation, to save his financial situation, and tell lies as he had done again and again if he had to. Those were the last words that the jury heard. Now it is in their hands. Again, we heard from Clifton Newman that they will be here until 10 o'clock tonight. I'm unsure why they're not ordering them dinner. And just another thing, and y'all mentioned this at the beginning of the broadcast, that extra juror. The defense requested that the extra juror stay. Now, it is normal that that extra juror is dismissed. But in case something happens to those 12 in the room, they wanted to keep the extra juror. But here's the other part. That extra juror isn't allowed to sit in with deliberations, so they are now sequestered behind me by themselves. Darcy, JR.
Andrea, thank you.